Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing amazing. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can generate 200 pieces of content in 30 minutes and skyrocket your business. We're going to be going through the whole content creation framework. Now, this is something I see most people really struggle with and don't really go all in on. They see a lot of people getting lots of success with content and scaling the system that gets them inbound leads, gets them an inflow of people within their business and helps them as these other people grow within their niche, but they just don't go all in. And there's only one core reason, because they see their time input being put to better use. Now, even if they're procrastinating, even if they're lazy, they see that being lazy, because there's too much resistance, being lazy is much better than actually producing content and potentially changing their lives. And that's because they lack a content creation framework or a system or an infrastructure or whatever you want to call it. And that's what I'm going to be going over. I'm going to be going over all of it. I'm going to be going over the whole thing that I've got a place from multiple people and built out this infrastructure. Just a bit of information about me. So I've worked on similar content systems with people doing 80 to 100K a month, with multiple online business owners, agency owners, people with millions of followers, people who've made pretty much 1, 2, 3 million through social media alone. And I've been placing these systems for them. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the thing is, first thing you need to kind of realize is that created content is not simply about just making videos and posting them online. It should be treated as your most valuable sales lead generating. It should be treated as your most valuable lead generating sales mechanism, because it will become just that if done well. So you can get in front of thousands of prospects every day, and if you know what you're doing, you can convert some of them into clients for free. You're getting paid to market at this point. This is something Alex Modi said as well. And with content, you're basically getting paid to market, because you're getting in for people and you're building out an asset that serves you a longer term horizon. The LTV of actually building out a system that produces content, brings out inbound leads, is insane. So all your other methods of acquisition also get expanded when you make content that your niche wants to know about. This is also why you're getting paid to market. So if you start running ads, if you start doing outreach, if you start doing anything else, even doing word of mouth referrals, things like that. If you're making content, you have some social presence, you have some authority, you have all of that, then that's going to make a lot more sense to your prospects. You would have built so much preconceived trust with them, and that they're just going to be so much more aligned to kind of work with you and see you as an authority. Problem is, most people are not consistent with this, or they do not have a proper direction to make this a business tool. They just make videos and hope that they convert into clients, and that is why they usually stop doing this after a bit. Like most things, this can only work when there is a system and proper infrastructure to back this up. This is the most important thing, because this is not just random content that you're just posting, right? It's content with an actual means to an end. It's content that needs to convert into something. You're looking at this as a marketing channel. You're not just looking at it as just posting content to just randomly build up a brand. Even if it's building up a brand, that's actually a good approach as well, to initially build up a brand. But you have a certain direction in your mind, you have a certain vision in your mind, and when you see that other things have higher ROI, especially because of the internal initial resistance that you have to making content, you just never do it, right? You just stop doing it, and you just think about, oh, if I'm just struggling to make one piece of content, if I need to make hundreds of pieces of content, I probably never get to it. So you just kind of leave it and you let go of this amazing potential marketing channel that you have that can pretty much change your whole business, change the trajectory of your business and your life as well, right? So this is exactly what we made, right? This is a framework that allows you to make hundreds of pieces of content within a few minutes with years of your knowledge that you already possess, and distribute them on all relevant platforms to get thousands of eyeballs on your business from people who want to work with you. So I'm going to be going over all of this content creation framework. I'm just going to be going over a whole initial thing that you can, just to show you as a brief, this whole thing that you can pretty much apply instantly. It also has like chat GPT prompts that you can just copy and paste, and with that you'll be good to go. Like you won't need anything else to get that initial piece of content rolling, and by that time you'll already have enough information to know what you're going to do next. So yeah, it'll help you transfer the knowledge that you already possess and distribute them to get thousands of eyeballs on your business from people who want to work with you. Times are changing, and you need to stop doing the work that can be automated by using AI and other tools, and focus and work on your business expertise and unique skill set to separate yourselves in 2024 and make progress. So, I mean, this goes for pretty much any business, because I remember I made this initially for some local business guide that I made, and this completely applies to any of the online businesses, any of the people who are pretty much on social media, selling social media as a service as well. It applies to them as well, because the fundamentals are the same, and this is what I tweaked and kind of made for this video. But initially, I remember making this for people in like a local business. So now I actually get to the framework, right? This is how it works. So phase 1 is the information collection phase. What you need to do is you first need to actually collect the information, put it all in one place so that you have an understanding of how the whole system works. You have a vision, you have everything put in one place so that everything becomes easy. I'm actually going to show you guys how to do it. So this is just the representation of that whole thing in a visual format. So what you want is you want this information database about your ICP, your service, and you. And all of this gets transferred into this question your ICP has. So this gets expanded into all of this, right? So question your ICP has, the topics that you want to talk about. And then that helps you get into the content ad of like producing the content as well. So we'll get into that. Just to show you a visual representation, step 1 starts with this, and you collect the information, and then you divide that information into multiple segments, which helps you generate lots of content through the scripting frameworks that we have, and AI and a lot of ChatGPT stuff takes care of that. First phase of this is to collect the data information that is necessary to be able to resurface the content that you want to make. We'll go back to this from time to time while making the content while using AI tools like GPT, which will help you streamline your whole process. So first step of phase 1 is you need to know who you're talking. This is probably the most important step that most people skip. Like, I've seen so many people just start making content, and whenever they have a business goal in mind, you need to know who you're talking to, because that's how you figure out what resonates with them, what they want to know about, and so on. You need to dial in what is called your ideal client persona or your ICP. So how you want to do this? This is a very simple framework that I'll give you guys the sheet as well, so you can just pretty much copy and paste and do these exercises, and then just figure this out for yourself. So add these 6 bullet points below and think from the perspective of your ICP to write these down. So just all of these, right? Current situation, desired situation, deep level pain points, deep level desires, transformation, deep questions they have. All of these are important, and all of these connect with each other to kind of make your overall ICP, right? I'll give you an example. So let's say if we're just talking about somebody who's fat and wants to get fit, right? That's a very obvious and typical example. Everybody wants to get fit, so you can relate and resonate with it much more as well. So the current situation in that case would be that they're fat. They wanna lose fat. They're fat. They have a certain unhealthy lifestyle. The desired situation is to have a healthy lifestyle, which would they're fitter, they have lost fat, they look lean, whatever it is, right? This is where you actually cater your messaging, right? The deeper level pain points and the deeper level desires. What's the deeper level pain? The deeper level pain point is probably social pressure, or their friends making fun of them, or being embarrassed to go out, or not being fully comfortable in their own skin, or things like that, right? Those are the deeper level pain points that actually trigger them to want to go from the current situation to the desired situation. Once you figure that out, you also have the deeper level desires. So that would probably be, more attention socially, or more acceptance in their family or a social circle, or just more respect from their peers, something like that, right? That's the deeper level desires. Then we're going to actually go to the transformation beliefs. This is where you actually figure out what you want to educate your ICP on. You write down the beliefs that need to be transformed with your ICP for them to see the value in what you provide. So for example, everybody, like, this is a very generic example, but I made it on purpose to show you that you can still dive deeper. So everybody knows that you need to exercise to get fit. That's a belief that they don't need transformed because they already have that belief. But let's say if somebody believes that you need to cut down on all, like somebody who's fat probably likes eating a lot of junk food. So they probably think that they need to cut down on all the food that they like to actually get fit. But you can transform this belief through education, through your content, by saying, oh, you don't need to cut down on all things you like. You can incorporate some of your favorite like junk food meals that you like, and also in the meal plan that you make for them, or that they can make for themselves, depending on your offer, you can incorporate a bunch of things that they like that actually match their caloric goals to actually achieve their goals. And you can come up with recipes that they actually enjoy. And that's probably a transformational belief that they can have, that they can actually enjoy the food while losing the fat and while achieving their goals. That was probably what was causing them a lot of resistance. Like with this video as well, right? A lot of resistance is around actually making content. But if I can actually transform your belief and say that, okay, you don't actually need to put in time to make content. You just need to put in a one-time effort. And then you can have like 200 pieces of content in 30 minutes. That's a transformational belief. Earlier you believed that you couldn't do so much volume of content in less time, but now you do. And you might then have questions related to this. So you know the desired outcome you want to achieve, but you believe it has to be achieved in a certain way. I transform your belief to tell you that you can achieve it in this way. You can do this better thing. You can use this better mechanism to actually achieve the desired situation that you want to achieve. Then you might have questions related to that. Oh, how do I do this step in achieving my desired situation? Or even if you don't have those transformational beliefs initially, you just have questions overall. Okay, how do I measure my food, for the example that we had before? How do I measure calories? How do I do this? How do I do that? And a lot of times, things that are really obvious to you or things that might be obvious to me in my offer are very new to a lot of my ICP, because that's exactly why they're watching your content. That's exactly why they're coming up to you. So you don't realize the amount of questions and content that you can actually generate when you actually think about it. Because a lot of the times you think, oh, this is too obvious, but it's not obvious to your ICP. That's why they want to come to you. So you can pretty much list out a lot of questions that you can answer. So you write down a list of questions and objections that your ICP or even clients in the past have had about your service. You basically want to clear doubts. Anything that you think is in their mind that can be cleared by you, you basically want to write down over here. So once you list these down, write them down, you will have a really clear picture of what the ICP looks like, and you will already start having better ideas almost instantly, because you have that vision in place. You have it in one go, right? And with the question, you just want to write down like 8 to 10 questions just to have a base, because we'll come up with a lot more later down the line through AI, through ChatGPT, through everything. So then what you want to do is you want to come to this stuff, right? So what do you do to help your clients? You want to write down what you do to help your clients, or even your ICP, because they will soon be your clients if you help them. So this will also be valuable for the ChatGPT prompt that we will be running to give it context. It also gives clarity in your mind, because when you're in it day out, sometimes we struggle to simply talk about what we do and the value we bring. So you can do this, you do these mechanisms, you have these features, but what do you actually do? Like, what do you actually bring about as a result for the client? So for the early example we use, he just makes people fit. Like that person, if he's a fitness trainer, he converts people from being fat, people who are kind of ashamed about themselves, feel embarrassed and have low confidence, low self-esteem, don't have respect with their peers, to people who are fit, shredded, are proud of themselves, have a lot of self-confidence and respect with their peers, just have respect amongst their peers, and pretty much enjoy life from that perspective. So list out these things below. What do you specifically do while working with your clients? How do you practice your service? What value do you bring to your clients? So this is a more specific question, and this is how that translates into value for your clients. What is the ideal result a client can expect while working with you? How do you achieve this? So this is kind of similar, but in this case you go more step by step. Like I give them a meal plan, I do this, I do that. Like it's more like 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. What is the unique mechanism you have for this process? So this, if you haven't really spent much time generating and working on your offer, this can help you with that as well. How you do this is the initial steps, and what is the unique mechanism is how you package all of that into one unique mechanism. So it can be like Fat to Fit Accelerator, or Fat to Fit 4-week Accelerator, which is fitness plus, which is like a workout plus nutrition program that we give people to get leaner, right? How are you different from any of the competitors? So this unique mechanism is also what makes you unique and separates you from the competitors, and also a lot of these things add to making you different from the competitors. So you list and write these down, and anything else you think that will add context about what you specifically do and the specific steps you take on a day-to-day basis to help your clients. All right, that's that. Then step 3 is your specific details. With any of your content, you need to remember that you're making a personal brand. So people resonate with people. We need to inject the specifics of your story in here as well. Some personal and some related to your business. You just ask these questions and you'll have a lot of context on them. You can obviously go a lot more detailed as well. These are just questions that initially trigger responses that, get some things out. But how do you get started in the space? Give run another achievements you have had while running your business, results, case studies, ways of working, anything that you're proud of, and anything else that you want to share and think is relevant. So these are things that will be unique to you, but just make like a detailed thing of anything that you think will be relevant and important. And if you put extra, it's better, right? Putting less is probably a worse idea, but just put all that you can put. Right. There you want to actually list down, this is the last step, step 4. You want to list down some content topics that you think you can talk about. What you want is to list out 5 to 10 areas that you help your clients with, and these will get converted into content topics. You want to think about the whole customer journey and divide it into various steps that you're solving while helping your clients with any objection that they may have. This is an example which I wrote down, which is for more of like a finance niche, but we're just going to come up with something for the example that we were talking about. So let's say if somebody's helping somebody go from fat to fit, that's their ICP, that's their offer. Couple of topics that they can talk about is let's just go more micro, so nutrition, but then subtopics for nutrition would be calculating macros, calculating calories, making your grocery list, something like that, or like meal prep, weighing your food, making your food more tastier to you, or kind of adjusting your food for you. Then we can kind of go to the workout side of things. So it'll probably be workout splits, how to recover better for your workouts from your previous workouts, how to utilize rest days, how to warm up and cool down, things like that, right? Like specific topics, but they can be broader or more specific depending on your kind of niche and your kind of ICP. Then we can kind of go to the mindset, how to stay consistent, how to keep yourself accountable. Yes, and you have broad topics like nutrition, staying consistent, mindset, workout, community, things like that, right? Water intake, whatever, and then they get divided into subtopics. So I'm sure you can come up with like 8 to 10 different sort of broader topics, and then maybe like 2 to 3 subtopics, or like five main topics, 5 main topics, and then 3 to 4 subtopics for those main topics, and you come up with like 15, 20 topics instantly. Even if you don't like, to start off with like 5 areas is good enough. 5 to 10 topics is pretty much good enough. You'll know better about this, and pretty sure like 5 to 10 topics is really easy to come on. So after you've done this, you're pretty much set with all of the information you need for the information collection phase. Then you move on to the phase 2, which is the content scripting and creation process. Right. What we want to make sure is that we use the information we collected and convert them into content. This is made so simple, a 5-year-old could do it because of ChatGPT. All you need to do is pretty much answer certain questions that you already know the answers to, and just record yourself while doing so, and you'll be set. But before this, we want to go to this step, which is understanding the content ladder flow. Now, I say that you just simply answer those questions and kind of convert them into content. That's what you do initially. You then move up the content ladder or down the content ladder, whatever you want to call it, and move to more higher effort pieces of content. So I'll come to explaining this. You will start with low effort, high volume content, right? I'm going to start with that. That's just going to be your base. You're testing out volume. You're increasing your surface area of the eyeballs that you generate. You're increasing the surface area of what you can test. You're just increasing the total number of reps that you're getting in to actually tweak and iterate based on what works and what does not work. So you start out with low effort, high volume content. Simple short form content in which you just ask the question. We come up with Q&A, which is similar, stories, tweets. So this would be for multiple platforms, but for short form content, you just want to keep it to these two, like simple short form content, Q&A, like answering the question that you get in the comments, answering the doubts that you have, and you can easily like wrap up to like 200 to 300 pieces of content in like 1 month if you do this. So if you do this for just like 1 month, you'd have like those many pieces of content. And imagine like if you have like 200 pieces of content, each even gets like 100 views, which is not too much, right? That's 20,000 views that you're getting to your business, right? Which you wouldn't have earlier. So 200 pieces of content, only 100 views per actual piece of content, right? That's very, very, very conservative, right? But that just shows you the power of, if you have a system in place, you don't need massive views to actually get attention to your business. And by the way, like if you start posting, you might even get less than 100 views for the first 10. But I'm sure like when you get into the 20, 30, 40 pieces of content, you're going to get way more than 100 pieces of 100 views each, right? And then when you start actually, one video does decently, you can get like 20, 30, 40,000 views just for one video. And then obviously, if your niche is broader, you can get like millions of views. So that one sort of video can change the whole trajectory. But for that one video, you need to test out volume initially. And that's why we set up the content data flow in this way, that initially you just test out a lot of things and you increase your surface area to see what works. And then you move it to medium effort, medium volume content, which is depending on your niche, depending on your offer, you can do like longer form YouTube videos, or you can do more conversion based short form content, which we'll get into, but it's like higher edited, more production quality, more thought into it, more scripted, and can have a conversion based mechanism as well. So you can have those videos in which they say, okay, comment so and so keyword to get this lead magnet, which will lead into your funnel. I goes more into the funnel creation aspect, but if you just talk about the content creation, you can take what works here. You can kind of, it's obviously like a funnel, right? It's narrowing, and then you take what works here, you move that further down the funnel, which is more conversion based stuff. So it's like lead magnets, threads, newsletters. For like specifically talking about the video niche, it can just be that simple short form content Q&A that goes into conversion based short form content, and then that goes probably into like even further into longer form video, which is still a part of the conversion mechanisms, because that's just the flow that will work in video better. And then you can probably use one of those YouTube videos to convert it to a lead magnet and so on and so forth. But that comes at a later step, right? So once you understand this, I've already gone through all of this. So you kind of analyze and optimize through each stage and kind of go further down the content ladder. And you can also reverse the content ladder. This is another concept, but if you already have a pre-validated concept that you know works, that you know that your ICP likes, or you have like a higher effort thing already produced, like an SOP, a guide or whatever, then you can always kind of go in the reverse order and convert that into more higher volume, repurpose distributed content as well. Then it's the step 2, right? It's content scripting. So this step is made simple with AI and ChatGPT, because so if you do all of these, if you do the first information collection step well enough, then you're pretty much set. You have this piece which you can repurpose again and again and keep on using to actually create something of value and churn out content after content after content. This step is made simple with AI and ChatGPT. What we try to do here is to get it to come up with a list of questions that the ICP may have, and the things that will just trigger a response from you and just help you record content. That's as simple as it gets. So for this, I have the exact prompts that you can give ChatGPT to get a list of these questions and just simply answer them, and that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. So I'm going to give you guys this document in the description, in the pinned comments, and you can just access this, copy this, paste this. So prompt 1 is, I want you to help me with creating content and providing value to my audience. I have a framework that I want us to follow to do this. Here's how it will work. First, I'll give you information about who my target audience is, how I help them, some information about me. Then I will give you some topics that I want to cover, and you will help me come up with a list of questions that I can answer to create pieces of content to educate my audience and build trust and authority. Reply got it if you understand. That's step 1. Simple enough. Prompt 2, just add the information. I've added the information below. My audience and ICP, you insert the 6 bullet points from phase 1, step 1. So you copy that, paste that over here. How I help them, copy whatever you added over there, paste it, same goes over here. Reply got it after you've gone through all of this information. So ChatGPT is basically analyzing all of the information that you gave it, and it has context about you. And then you actually move to prompt 3, right? So prompt 3 is, now that you know everything about who I want to target, how I help them, and information about me, we will move to the content creation phase. Below are a few topics I want to talk about in my content, and then you insert the content topics that you came up with. So this is something that I actually saw from Dakota. So I saw from him, he's a pretty big creator, and I took inspiration, kind of added this to my framework. So what I want you to do is start with 50 questions for each topic that I can answer with a 60-second soundbite to create short-form content that helps me educate my audience while building authority and trust with them. I want you to actually go inside the minds of my ICP and think of questions they may have in relation to achieving their desired outcome, which I can answer and transform the release by educating them by answering the question, right? All of these questions should be to trigger responses that are valuable to my ICP and help them achieve their desired outcome. I want you to balance the 50 questions with these 5 different types. Actually, this should be 4, which are correct. so that they trigger a variety of different types of answers. So concept-based, how-tos, resources, and tool stories. I wanted to focus more on questions in which I can bring out the desired outcome for the ICP. The question should be from the perspective of how an actual conversation would happen with the ICP. So imagine the ICP as an actual person. How would they ask the questions on these topics? Make the questions such that I can answer by telling them what they want to hear and showing them how they can get there. So we want to validate their desired outcome and then show them how. So this actual framework works really well, right? Because basically everything is in the prompt, but you take context of everything. You give ChatGPT all of the information, and then you tell it, this is what I want to produce, this is what I want to trigger, and then it just comes up with the questions in which you can actually answer to give it genuine value. It's not like AI generated stuff. You're actually producing genuine value, but the whole process is made so simple that you can just make it as if it was a conversation. That's why all of these big influencers go on podcasts, right? Because they know the podcast in itself is helpful. It adds to their overall trust factor, but the main thing with the whole podcast is it can repurpose into so many pieces of content. The total surface area that they have is immense. Like Iman Ghazi, Tate, like Bradley, like all of these people, even like fitness influencers, do a lot of this, right? So you would have like 150, 200 different questions that you can simply answer and convert into short form videos by simply recording the answer, adding a title to summarize them, and a caption. That's as simple, right? I mean, this is something if you have the means, you can get the VA to do this whole process. So all you need to do is just set up the camera, answer the questions, answer some bullet points. You can also get ChatGPT to, you can add in the hook or as a follow-up to add hooks to all of these questions as well. So it can give you a hook, and then you can use that hook and then actually go into the actual value add that you want to answer as well. And you can give it like a hook framework, which you have as well, which I'll probably link below as well. The questions from GPT might not be perfect at once. In that case, just give it some real honest feedback as if you're talking to someone, and it'll give you what you need as well. So just talk to GPT as if you would be talking to a team member, and then it'll give you context. It'll give context and correct the questions and make them better. The main reason why you actually need a system to all of this is because you need leverage. If you do not have leverage, then you do not really have a system that can scale. Again, like if you don't have leverage, you can't have scale, because you can't have a 1:1 ratio to actually achieve scale. You need to have a 1:1.5, then 2, then 3, then 5, and then the whole thing compounds. It goes into 100, 1,000, whatever, right? And that's how, you see, you have like multiple folds of leverage, right? My bad. Initially, you have leverage through the content that you're producing with this whole system. So like one piece unit of effort leads to like 200 pieces of content. Then 200 pieces of content leads to whatever, right? Like 20,000 people actually viewing your thing, right? Viewing your business or generating attention. That leads into the funnel, which leads into, let's say 100 people being interested in your business and 10 people actually booking in a call, and then like 3 people actually converting. So that's on like a 1 month basis. So like 1 month basis, you did this 3-hour long exercise, right? And that gives you like 3 new people in your business. And that's just right now, right? This whole thing compounds. Then like maybe like in month 2, 3 hours is valued at like 6 people coming into a business. And then those 6 people lead to like more case studies, more feedback. Then it kind of goes to like 3 hours leading to like 20 people coming. And then you hire people, so you don't actually need to even put in those 3 hours. So 1 hour leads to 20 people coming in. So that's how you actually leverage this whole system up, right? And you scale up the leverage. So to manage all of this and to kind of systemize it further, you need the content, talent, and pipeline. So this is a topic for another video as well, but you got everything set up and click up. And then you just want to distribute and analyze. So you move up the content ladder, you distribute it, you analyze what works, what does not, and then you scale what works, kind of filter out what does not, you rinse and repeat, and then you have much more context as well. The more further you move to ask ChatGPT for better questions, to come up with better ideas. You can be like, okay, this content worked well, come up with more ideas similar to this. So like most things, we also have a system for this. In fact, a full end-to-end infrastructure that helps you track clients day in, day out on autopilot without spending any time, so that you do not have to worry about where the next one is coming from. We call this the inflow blueprint system. We pretty much help you set up this whole infrastructure plus a lot of other things. The actual content calendar, the content pipeline. We also have like an analytics dashboard that actually helps you understand what's working, what is not working, and just set yourself up for massive amounts of leverage and massive amounts of success in this whole thing. So this is a pretty integrated system. We like to see if we can actually help you by using the system in your business, and if you're a good fit to work together. So if you think this is you, then you can book a discovery call with us. This will be linked below. This will be linked in the document. So, I mean, make use of all of this first if you don't think that you're kind of applicable for us to fit in this whole process for you, because it is sort of high ticket-ish. But if you do think, then just book in a call and we can figure it out. Worst case is we just add some value to your business and see how things work. So that's us. Subscribe right now for more such detailed, intricate systems that apply to your business and get massive amounts of leverage in your whole operations processing, your whole scaling process. Thanks.